And now the second in our series of stories this week on efforts to reduce gun violence. Tonight, Spencer Michaels reports on a California program to take guns away from those who no longer should legally have them.
Hey partner, what's your name? William, you on probation right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you live here right now?
Yes.
Which one's your
right now, yeah.
Okay, which one's your room?
I don't have a room.
You don't have a room?
No,
where do you stay?
I'm temporarily here. I sleep in the living room.
You sleep in the living room?
Yes, sir.
Okay, do me a favor, just while you're here right now,
Yes.
just take your hands out of your pocket for
sure,
me,
I'm
okay?
sorry.
That's all right. Do you have anything here that's illegal?
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir. I just got out of jail. No,
When did you get out of jail?
Yeah, March.
In March?
Yes, sir.
Okay, what were you in the county for?
Felon in possession of firearm.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
On a residential street in Sacramento County, Kisu Yo supervises a team of 9 agents from California's Department of Justice. Looking for guns, state records tell them are in the hands of those forbidden from having them.
We're going to go talk to people that have domestic violence restraining order, people who have been convicted of a felony, people who have mental health commitments. These are the people that have legally acquired and purchased firearms legally at one time or another in their life, and since then they have become prohibited from possessing firearms.
California, which has the country's most comprehensive records of firearm purchases, is the only state sending agents door to door confiscating legally purchased guns from people who later became barred from owning them. Garen Wintemute, a professor of emergency medicine at the University of California at Davis, specializes in violence prevention, and he helped the state develop the Armed Prohibited Persons system.
We spend a great deal of time trying to prevent people who are prohibited already from buying guns. The smart new idea was this: what about the other way around? What about somebody who's bought a gun before legally and now they're a prohibited person? And the smart new idea was, let's go take them back.
The goal of the program, which began in 2007, is to prevent gun violence, like the case of Roy Perez, a mentally ill man in Los Angeles who shot to death 3 people in 2008, despite being on the state's Armed Prohibited Persons list.
It's a great program. Whenever you take one firearm off the street, you're making a difference. But when we go out, we're taking 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 guns, depending on the night. This right here is an AK-47 style assault rifle with a 100-round drum magazine that was confiscated last night in Napa County from a mentally health committed person. The bottom line is they're prohibited from possessing them, so we end up confiscating them and then taking them to jail.
Over the last 6 years, agents have seized more than 10,000 guns from around the state, and records show there are 40,000 more still out there. Agents use an automated system which compares the state's massive database of people who have purchased guns legally with other databases that record every felony and violent misdemeanor conviction, involuntary mental illness confinement, or temporary restraining order. The results can be impressive.
All the firearms here on this table have been confiscated within the past 6 months. This is a 500 caliber revolver. It's the most powerful handgun known to us.
But it's tricky work. Since law enforcement isn't sure where the guns are today, many people on the list purchased their guns years ago, the agents usually don't have the probable cause needed to obtain search warrants. So they use persuasion to gain access. If firearms are discovered that are registered to the person, an arrest can be made. Gun enthusiast Gene Hoffman, chairman of the Cal Guns Foundation, says he supports the aim of the gun confiscation program, but he has serious problems with the ways agents go about looking for the weapons.
I think they should be able to convince a judge that there's reasonable suspicion of probable cause, because firearms possession in the home is one of those protected fundamental rights.
He also thinks the program is simply ineffective because agents can't force people to let them search their homes.
You need a warrant to search someone's house, so the people who most have something to hide can simply say no thank you and close the door in the face of these agents.
Despite such skepticism, California's program has been cited as a possible model for other states seeking to prevent gun violence in the wake of recent national tragedies. Statewide, the program employs 33 agents, But this spring it got a big boost when the legislature approved an additional $24 million to more than double the number of agents looking for guns. California Attorney General Kamala Harris had lobbied for the additional money because the backlog was growing and the agents couldn't keep up.
We're going to eliminate the backlog within the next 3 years. Hey guys, can you do me a favor? Can you guys all go inside?
Agents search for prohibited guns almost every day throughout California. It's a time-consuming and expensive operation. Sometimes they find guns, and sometimes they don't. On a recent evening, we rode along as agents went to 13 residences. No guns were found. Most of the people they were looking for had moved away, some several years ago.
Team 27, most likely going to be the front complex.
We do the best we can to find the most current address. Sometimes that we find that they give us false addresses, so a lot of times we have to do a lot of follow-up on the back end to obtain or locate the subjects.
To Arkansas, got a cell number on her husband.
Copy that, moved out of state, Arkansas.
Some gun rights advocates, like Northern California gun store owner Roman Kaplan, don't oppose the concept of getting guns out of the hands of criminals or the mentally ill, but he's skeptical the program will do much good in preventing shootings, as in Connecticut.
It's always hysterical reaction. It's always knee-jerk reaction after anything happens. There is always knee-jerk reaction. Usually doesn't lead to anything. It's just a way for politicians to show that we do something.
Kaplan is annoyed that people who want to purchase a gun legally at his store are saddled with a $25 background check fee, which is being used to pay for the new agents.
With all the limitations that put by California legislation on legal gun owners, it doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make anyone safer.
Calguns Hoffman, a high-tech entrepreneur, says he has concerns about the accuracy of the databases used by the state. But his main problem is who is not being targeted: criminals in high-crime areas.
I don't necessarily think that these raids are capturing the types of criminals that are most likely to cause problems with firearms. It would be far more valuable for these folks to be following up on straw purchases in places like East Oakland and Compton. This is where most of the firearms are getting in the hands of the truly violent.
But violence prevention expert Wintemute says the state is now targeting individuals who are more likely to commit a crime.
The risk for doing another crime is highest immediately after that first crime has been committed, and it goes down with time thereafter. We need to go after everybody, the new felons and the new violent misdemeanors, and the people who've just been served with domestic violence restraining orders, and the people who've just been hospitalized because a mental health professional has determined that they are a danger to themselves or to somebody else, and now they've been released.
Experts say it is impossible to know exactly how many guns in California have been purchased illegally or brought in from out of state. Still, the agents who put on their flak jackets and walk up to unfamiliar doorways contend they are making a difference, getting guns out of the hands of those they know shouldn't